Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Verania, and in today's video it is another passive income report. So what we're going to be doing is having a look at my own passive income streams for the month of February. So I want to see how much I ended up generating, and then I want to compare it to January as well. So if you want to know exactly how much I made when it comes to passive income, then stick around. So as a quick reminder, it's also important to remember that when it comes to my passive income reports, what I essentially focus on is some of the passive income streams when it comes to my personal finances, so things like my bank interest, for example, and then I focus on other passive income streams that are related to my business. And when I'm talking about passive income, essentially what I'm saying is that you don't necessarily have to trade time for money, but some of these I would say are semi-passive in that you still have to do a little bit of work to maintain things, but then others are actually really passive. So what we're going to do is go through those streams and see how I did for the month. So let's talk about my non-business stuff first, and what I want to talk about is my bank interest. Now, as a quick reminder, again, I do also have a joint account as well, and that's where most of our savings are held. And so what I do essentially is just split the bank interest by 2, because that's how it's recorded, especially when we get our bank statements as well. So in terms of my bank interest for February, I ended up making about £1.11, which is maybe a couple of dollars, compared to January where I made £1.49. So it's slightly less, and that's just because some of our savings has slightly changed. I did mention that in my previous budget video where we've now moved some of it to our sinking funds. So that will explain why the interest is a little bit different. And if you do want to check that budget update video out, I will link it up here for you and in the description below. But yeah, just over £1 in interest. Not much, but you know, when it comes to interest rates these days, honestly, a few pence is better than nothing. So next up, let's talk about dividends. And if you're not really sure what dividends are, basically if you invest in particular companies through the stock market, if those companies make profits, they may decide to distribute some of those profits to their shareholders, so people that hold shares in the company. And so when it comes to my own dividends, in February I actually ended up receiving about £1.52, which compared to January is slightly more, because in January I received £1.02. So I'm pretty happy with that progress. I would say that dividends isn't something that I'm solely focused on when it comes to my stock portfolio, but it is nice to get some dividends time to time. And of course, the more money that you have in your portfolio and you continue to invest, then of course that will start to increase as well. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that progress, and we'll see how that continues to change over time. Again, if you're interested in knowing about the steps that you need to be taking so that you can maybe start investing in the stock market where you can get these dividends, then make sure you do check out my free money management guide, because I give you the steps that I took to start managing my money, but also to start investing my money as well. So I'll link that up here for you and in the description below. So now that we've got the non-business stuff out of the way, let's talk about the business stuff. And of course, the first thing I want to talk about is affiliate marketing. So if you're not sure what affiliate marketing is, essentially what it is that if I recommend some products that I typically use and you decide to maybe purchase that product using my specific link, then I will just get a commission out of that, but it won't be at an additional cost to you. It's just because I've been able to drive you to that company. So if you ever look in my YouTube description, then you will see that there are some things that I recommend. So for example, I have books that I recommend, and I also have memberships that I'm a part of, such as Financial Joy Academy, that I also recommend. And so if you decide to join that membership, then I will get a commission from that. The same when it comes to the books that I recommend. If you decide to use that link and maybe you even buy something else, then I will also make a commission from that. And essentially it's actually a few pennies that I get, so it's not much, but obviously as your audience grows and if they continue to use your links, then that should start to build up over time. So in terms of affiliate marketing, I actually ended up making less money in February compared to January, which I'm not too surprised at, to be honest. But in February I ended up making £3.76 compared to January where I ended up making £17.39. So a bit of a difference. However, when I actually compare it to last year, I'm doing better than last year. So I'm actually making more money, because last year I was pretty much making less than £1 almost every single month. So to make more than £1 is actually a win in my books. So I'm definitely happy with that. And if you're liking this video so far, then feel free to give me a thumbs up, as it really does help to support the channel. Plus, I'm sure you know, it's free. And then next up, let's talk about my own paid products. So as most of you will know, I'm sure, I do sell budget templates. And so this will include a net worth statement, a sinking funds calculator, and then you have the choice between a monthly budget template or a weekly budget template. And these are the exact templates that I use for my own personal budget as well. And so in February, again, this was pretty much a low month. And actually, if I compare this to last year, January is always quite a high month, and then February is usually one of my lowest months, which has been an interesting trend to see. So in terms of February, I ended up making £26.59 from my budget templates. But if you compare it to January, in January I made £64.80. pence. So quite a big difference there, but again, I'm still really thankful that people are still buying my templates and people are still really enjoying it. But I'm not too surprised because actually it's the second time that I've now had a February slump. So next up, let's talk about my free shares. And what I mean by this is I basically invest through a couple of platforms. The first one is Trading 212, and that's my main investment platform. So that's how I invest in the stock market. And then the second is FREETRADE. So if you use my link in the description below, and if you have an interest in any of those platforms, then we will both get a free share. Now, the only problem is that with Trading 212, for the past year, they have not been giving out free shares because they've made people go on a waiting list. And so I've really only been able to get free shares from FREETRADE. And when it comes to February, I didn't end up getting any free shares. So again, quite a low month, because in January I did, the free share was around £12.79. So yeah, a pretty low February so far. So now let's move over to YouTube ad revenue. And so if you have no idea, I do have ads on my videos, and whenever you watch the ads, I make money, and the longer you watch the ads, the more money I end up making. So when it comes to YouTube ad revenue in February, I ended up making about £152.45. And if you compare that to January, in January I made about £202.46. So about a £50 difference. But actually in February I did way less videos because in January I was also doing weekly YouTube lives, and typically in January my views tend to go up anyway because that's when people want to start thinking about their personal finances and setting their financial goals and things like that. So I wasn't too surprised. However, I'm just very happy that I was still able to pass the £150 mark, because that was something that I kept trying to do last year and it just wasn't working last year. So I'm happy that at least finally I'm starting to go over that 150 mark, and I'm really hoping that I can continue to do that over the next few months. And so in total, when it comes to my passive income for the month of February, I ended up making around £185.43, which is around $248. And so if you compare it to January, in January I made about £299.95, which is around $406. So in January I ended up making more than 100 more than February, and in February I wasn't able to hit the 200 mark. And some of you guys will know that that's something that I really do want to hit when it comes to my passive income. So just shy of the 200 mark by about 15, but it's okay. I mean, I think it's quite a good example to see that when it comes to things like passive income, especially when it's linked to things like your business, it's not always going to be consistent. Sometimes there are high months and sometimes there are low months. So if you're looking to start a side hustle or maybe your own business, it's good to kind of take that into consideration, because it's quite different to having that consistent paycheck you may get at your 9-to-5 job. So if you did like this video, then please do give me a thumbs up if you haven't already, and let me know in the comments if you have any passive income streams. How did they do in the month of February? I do post every Tuesday and Friday, so if you would like to know more, then of course you can subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys on Friday.